Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today we're going to do the first look at how to set up for the first time the brand new Shark PowerDetect UV Reveal. So I did purchase this robot vacuum cleaner with my own money. This will be my own opinion. In this video, I'm going to show you we're going to unbox it, put it together. We're going to connect it to our smartphone. I'll go through the recommended settings and then we'll just do a simple cleaning. I'm going to live with it for 3 months before I give it, if it will get my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. It's got to pass some pretty good testing, but this is just the first look. Now, if you want to see all the robots that have already passed my testing and are Just a Dad approved, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. If you purchase a product from this description or on my website, I am an Amazon affiliate. The product's not going to cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission from the sale. Now, this Shark is very expensive right now, $1,300. It is on sale for $950. These typically don't go on sale very often, especially when they're brand new. Now, spoiler alert, this thing has a lot. They've got about 5 of these PowerDetects now, and not a lot changes. Now they're adding, it looks like a new sensor. They're talking about UV reveal, which I'll test that in a separate video. I'll do the advertising because there's a lot of advertising about this sensor. So I'll do a separate video on that. This is just to get you up and running if you've bought this robot, if you want to see how it cleans for the first time. So Shark robots are just not high on my list because of the Shark app, and they're really not changing a whole lot. Manufacturers like Curve, Roborock, Dream, even Ecovacs, they're constantly updating, making things better. This is, in my opinion, an older design, hard to clean base station. Again, dustbin, none of that's changed, mop pad. So you can probably save some money by getting one of the older ones, but really not many of the Shark robot vacuum cleaners are Just a Dad approved. And it comes down to the app and how well they clean. So again, check out my website. We're like the Mova P10 Pro. That's a $400 robot right now. It is a far superior robot to this $1,000 robot from Shark. And it's my #1 pick. You can find it at my website, justadadapproved.com. This is home of the honest review. I want to get you the best robot for the best price. And on my website, you're going to find how to do all the maintenance. We can save money buying generic parts. So check out justadadapproved.com. So here's everything that comes in the box. We get a sample solution bottle. We get an odor neutralizing cartridge. You're going to put that up here, line up the arrows right here. Now you are going to change this. That little green cartridge comes off. It's just a little odor scent thing so that when this vacuum kicks on and sucks everything out of the robot, you'll smell this. If you don't want that, just take the green thing off, but you should install the cap and then you can adjust how much scent accordingly. The solution we're going to add, we got 2 side brushes we're going to add. Now this robot does have LiDAR navigation, which I do like. Up here we do have a clean water tank. You're going to fill this up with clean water and then you're going to dump the solution in here. It's got a line for clean water and then from here to here you add solution. This is the dirty water tank. So after it washes the mop pad, it sucks the water up into the dirty water tank. You'll empty that out. Down here there is a ramp. You're going to install this ramp. There's a brush that goes back and forth to clean the mop pad. There's this little screen. You got to take this screen out once in a while. Now, I do consider Shark robots. This area does get pretty dirty, and this is kind of hard to clean down here. Alignment pins. It does fill the robot up with clean water, and it can leave the mop pad back at the base station. And here's where it sucks the dirt out of the dust bin. This is where it's going to charge it, and it is bagless. So you're going to take this over to your trash can. You're going to press this button. Everything comes out. You will have to clean those filters once in a while, but it is a bagless base station. Now, since it's bagless, it does have some filters that you are going to have to clean. This filter here, it's reusable and it gets extremely dirty. And there's another small one down there you got to take out. You can wash those, but you got to let them dry. Now, there is a HEPA filter here that you'll have to replace. You cannot wash it. You got to replace it every year or so. Round back, it's got a plug-in. The cord is permanently attached. It's 3-prong and it's about 4 feet long. Base station front to back about 18 inches or 46 centimeters. Now left to right, you're looking at 14 1/4 or 37 centimeters. You do have to be able to lift these up about that high. I'll measure that real quick. So you have to be able to lift him. You have to need about 27 inches or about almost 70 centimeters above it clear. Again, the robot has LiDAR navigation and it's about 13 3/4 inches wide or 35 centimeters. Now the LiDAR on top is fixed and the robot is about 13 millimeters tall and it's about 4 1/8 inches tall. Okay, let's take a look at the robot. It does have a pretty sophisticated sensor on the front. It's got an LED light. We've got some sensors to help us identify stains on the floor, but it also has sensors to help us avoid obstacles. These windows will need cleaned. It does have the bumper technology. If it runs into something, it'll turn around. And it does have spinning LiDAR underneath this. So it's going to do a good job of mapping your home. Now, it doesn't have physical buttons. There's about 4 buttons here. That's one thing I wish it did have. So the middle one, that's your power button. And then to the left of it, these will light up, but that's a mop button, which you can start and stop, air button or air light, and then a vacuum button over here, and then a Wi-Fi light. So if you want it to vacuum and mop your house at the same time, you can go up here and press these 2 buttons at the same time. Come around the side here, there's another sensor, so it knows when it's up against the wall. It can move the mop pad. This is where it's going to charge the robot. Backup sensor. This is where it's going to fill the robot up with water. There's where it auto empties the dustbin. And again, it can leave the mop pad back at the base station. It also moves the mop pad back and forth. You will have to replace this once in a while. It's just held on with Velcro in a track there, so it's very easy to replace. And that brush in the base station, it's going to go back and forth with hot water to clean this, and then it dries it with hot air at the end. Keep going around. There's a edge detect. Whenever it's up against the wall and it goes into a corner, it's going to blow some air to direct stuff in front of the robot so it can be vacuumed up. Let's take a look at the dustbin. Press this button here. You can manually fill it up with water, but again, the base station is going to fill it up with water. Here's a filter you will have to replace once in a while. And then here's the actual dustbin. Another screen here you got to clean. Kind of a clear water tank we can see. This is where it's going to spray water on top. There is a water pump. It can spray water on top of the mop pad to keep it nice and wet. This also has dirt detect. So there's 2 little sensors right here and right here. So as this is vacuuming your floor, when it senses particles, like a lot of particles, it's going to go into a dirt detection mode. These lights will turn purple and it starts doing a figure 8 around where it thinks the dirt is. So you will have to clean these sensors once in a while. Those lights will also come on when it detects a stain. So it's got stain detect. When this sensor detects a stain, it's going to go back and forth and scrub the stain, and these lights will turn white. Here's the never stuck wheels. So these wheels will lift the robot up whenever it senses. It has a carpet sensor. So whenever it senses carpet, it lifts the rear end up, the whole robot's rear end up, so that the mop pad will not get wet on the floor. This wheel spins free. Again, 2 carpet sensors. These are cliff sensors that need cleaned once in a while so it doesn't fall down your stairs. It does have a removable battery. And then let's look at the brush roller. So it's a single piece brush roller, but it does have a comb to help with long hair. You will have to clean that and replace that once in a while. And again, it can move this whole mop pad up against a wall. There's this little rubber roller here, and it also scrubs with it, moving it back and forth. Now it comes with 2 side brushes, but you only need 1, and it's just a square. You're going to pop that on. So Shark vacuums do not give us many specs. As we can see here, 1,300 to 950. And again, you can find all the specs that I find relevant for robot vacuum cleaners on my website under when I have a review article for this. They don't tell us pascals of suction. It just says it's 7x of one of their oldest robots, which that means nothing. Mop roller does side reach. It is removable and it lifts it, but it kind of lifts the whole robot, which is kind of weird. Side brush is basic. Oh no, it only has 1 brush. I'm sorry. Single with a comb, onboard water tank, no video camera. So if you're worried about privacy, obstacle avoidance, these Sharks are actually pretty good with those advanced sensors. I got to test it though. No chassis lift. No threshold for you can't put a threshold and have the robot go over a threshold. So there's just two notable things. There's this new dirt detect sensor. Well, that's not new, but the UV detect sensor on the front is new. It is bagless, which a lot of people are asking for bagless base stations. You don't have to buy bags, but there is a tremendous amount of work cleaning those filters, and they're extremely dirty. No dirt detect. All the dirt detection is built into the robot. There's no dirt detect built into the base station, which I prefer it there instead of on board the robot. There is no solution tank. You just add Shark vac mop solution to the clean water tank. No tray removal. Now, I consider this a big downfall for Shark robots. This area is extremely hard to clean, and it does get really dirty. The base station just doesn't do a good job of keeping this area clean. This brush roller, they don't really tell us if this is ever replaceable. Does it wear out? This is what I consider an old design that they're carrying forward. They have upgraded it to where it's now at least hot water. Their original ones, this was all cold water and cold air. It does blow hot air onto the mop pad now, which I do like that. But this design is just old in my opinion. So what it boils down to is you're paying a flagship price for a very entry level. You're paying flagship price only for this sensor right here. And I don't think that's worth it with these Shark robots. Okay, I got the clean water tank filled up to the clean water tank line. Let's add some Shark vac mop solution. So it takes pretty much every time it takes 12 ounces. Now on my website, I've got links to where you can buy the bigger bottle, justadadapproved.com. Also, the dirty water tank, every time you empty it, put an Effordent tablet in there. These things will start stinking like crazy. And I also have a link to the world famous Just a Dad cleaning brush. This is the best brush for cleaning this. You can get this from Walmart for $5. And scrubby bubbles. So I have links to all of this stuff on my website, justadadapproved.com, under robot care and maintenance. All right, dirty water tank in. And let's put the clean water tank in now. Close the lid. I've got it plugged in. We've got a light here. That light's going to change color depending on things. Let's go ahead and dock. I've got the mop pad installed. Go ahead and dock it. It should turn the robot on. And we're going to go right to the app and connect it to our smartphone. And you may get an auto empty event. That's all normal. Yeah, it talks to you, plays a couple buttons. So you're going to get the Shark Clean app. It's free to use, but you have to log in with a username and password. So you have to create an account. Now I have several other Shark robots, so you may see something that says connect your robot, but click the little arrow or the three little lines, and there'll be something that says add a robot. All right, start setup. Plug the dock in, power on the robot, confirm it's charging. I am ready to pair. My robot has illuminated icons. That's what I've got. Tap the illuminated Wi-Fi button to turn on pairing mode. Now, here's my buttons. The Wi-Fi is illuminated, but I'm pretty sure I need to reset. Okay, I need that blinking. So what I got to do is hold the mop and the power dock. I got to hold all three of these. I don't like that at all. I got to hold all three of these, which they're not physical buttons. Okay. I am ready to connect to Wi-Fi. That is like breathing blue. Click here and hit there. Okay, the permissions came up. I gave it, you have to allow all this stuff. Hit next. Start searching. It's going to find your robot. I'm using an iPad Air. Your whatever you're using, your phone or your iPad needs to be on the Wi-Fi that you want this to connect to. 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, so it did find it. Hit next. Select the Wi-Fi, hit that. Find your Wi-Fi, click on it. All right, give it your Wi-Fi password. And now hit next. You should start getting these check marks. The tablet's going to tell the robot what Wi-Fi to go connect to, and then the robot should go connect to that, and then your tablet should reconnect to the Wi-Fi. What's happening is the tablet was connected to the robot's Wi-Fi. The robot is transmitting a Wi-Fi signal. Sometimes you have to manually do that. Go under Wi-Fi settings and manually click the robot. but hopefully it's going to be all automatic. That took a couple minutes. Hit next. Name your robot. Give it a name. Hit done. Okay, go to dashboard. So it only comes with 40% charge. You got to let it charge up. I don't think it's going to do a map. And it's paused for some reason. So this is one of the downfalls of Shark. I don't necessarily like their app because it just kind of has some, it's old. And this should be like, it is, the home screen right now should be like ready to map. Start your map. But for some reason it's in a paused state, which all I ever did was turn it, docket and hit those 3 buttons. All right, so I closed the app by swiping up and then closing the app. It's still in this paused state, which it should be charging right now. It is. It's the green light. The green light. I don't see a charging icon. You shouldn't have to do that. You may not have to do that, but I hit stop. You know, it might be doing an update. Now I got this disconnect, so man, it wants me to go through this whole setup. This is why I don't necessarily recommend Shark robots. I've seen the iRobot is just as bad. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so this has been a little tricky. I went ahead and reset it by pressing the 3 buttons again and went through and did the whole connection thing all over again. I probably didn't have to do that. So the first time I hit the pause button, but the second time I hit the play button and it spun like nothing happened. Just the thing was kind of spinning, and now I've got this page. So it really lags. You got to be patient with this Shark app. It's kind of old, and I've noticed that sometimes it lags. So now I've got the charging symbol. We're only at 40%. It won't do anything till you get to 50%. So we just got to be patient and let it charge. So of interesting note, it keeps disconnecting and connecting. Not sure. My Wi-Fi is really good here. Not sure if this is going to be a future problem or I have to kind of keep going in and out. But we're at 50%. See, it just disconnected. Okay, so I had to close the app. It seems to be crashing. Now we're at 50%. Get started. It's going to walk you through all of this. Hit next. It needs to prepare your space. I've opened all the doors. I've kind of picked stuff up. Starting an exploratory run. So it's going to undock and it should randomly go around your house and create a map. You won't see the map until it's all done. Oh, make sure you hit that start. Now it should disconnect the mop pad. Now this can take a while depending on your home. And you have to do another verification run for carpet. So this whole process of setting it up takes about 3 times as long as like the Mova P10 Pro because of the carpet sensing. It just isn't as good as some of the newer robots. So again, it's just going to randomly, that sound you hear is the brush roller kind of hitting the floor. That's normal. Again, it left the mop pad back at the base station. It's going to randomly go through your home. I've got some doors closed just because of how long it takes to map. I just want to get this video done. So this whole process can take a couple hours of doing the first map, editing the map, and then going back and telling it where the carpet is. It has to go back and whatever room you tell it, like this room has carpet, you have to tell it that this room has carpet, and then it goes and cleans the entire room, which can take a day or two. Because we're at 50% charge, it may have to go back and charge, but to see where the line of the carpet is. And if it's wrong, you got to do a whole nother verification run. So this is old technology that is going to be one of the biggest dings against Shark. I've really been hoping they would upgrade their app. The apps on the Mova, Dreamy, Roborock, Ecovacs, Narwhal, the likes, even Dyson's brand new robot, the apps are so much more user-friendly, and you've got a lot more features. Okay, so creating the first map doesn't take a super long time, and it is relatively accurate. It's got some of my furniture, so you can either tell it to re-explore or approve. I'm going to approve it. It's identifying where the carpet is. That takes so long because you may not have enough battery for it to do it all at once, so then it has to go recharge. Edit map. So this is how we're going to edit the map on the Shark. We're going to split rooms, hit the split, hit the room. Oh yeah, this is different. So whenever you put your finger down, that's when the split starts. And then see how it's hit split, room, you select the room, and then you drag your finger where you want to split. There. Little different, little tricky. Let's name the rooms. So select a room, hit name, give it a name. Take your time with this. Now let's add some no-go zones. Let's hit add. You can make these as big or as small as you want. Anywhere where you think the robot's going to struggle. I know over here there's some cables on the ground that it's going to struggle a little bit. So I'm just going to have it stay completely away from this area right here. And you can add these later, and you can delete them, rechange them. So hit the little check mark. Yes, save. And then here's the tricky part. So now you're going to select the rooms that have carpet. So this room, I've got some rugs in this room. So again, I'm just going to do one room. This takes forever. So now it's going to vacuum that room to identify where the carpet is. I guess it only turns those carpet sensors on for mapping when you're doing this. You can do this later, and you can also update this. And so now it's going to go clean this room and try to find out where all the carpet is. But in order to do that, it has to clean the entire room. So this can take a while. And it's doing a vacuum only event. So it travels to that room and then it cleans it. So I can tell already I didn't get the room positioned quite right. I should have moved the room over here a little bit. So I'll have to tell it to do it to this room too. Now, it does show you where the robot's at, but it lags about 3 or 4 seconds. So that's, while accurate, it's not super real time. And depending on how much carpet you got, this is where it can take all day. Because if, it only had 50%, so it may have to go charge. Charging can take 4 or 5 hours. And then it may have to clean some more. So I have had this take over a day just to identify where the carpet is. This is an important step, because then you can go in and fine-tune the map a little bit better, Okay, let's go tell it to mop up the corner test area. We're going to select rooms, select that room. We want vacuum. If you select mop, it will vacuum and mop, even though it looks like it's doing just mop only. Now, it looks like we can turn this UV stain detect on or off. It will activate hypersonic mopping and targeted mopping. It will revisit it after it's clean. So we're going to leave that on. Stain detect sensitivity, moderate boost or max boost. 3 levels of water flow, 3 levels of suction level. Let's go ahead and start it. So it should fill the internal water tank up with water. And we're also going to check it lifting its mop pad over this rug. And then we'll see how it does over here in the corner test area. I got dried on mud, long hair, even some soy sauce. Now, filling the robot can take a while. You'll hear this water pump for quite a while. Okay, so it's going to undock and travel to that room. It's going to travel to that room and start cleaning. Now, when it senses carpet, it'll lift the rear of the robot. Now, it does struggle with carpets that are very lightweight, but you can see how it lifts itself up. Okay, we're going to see how the Shark UV reveal cleans up this big mess. It has an internal water tank. What it's doing now, it's spraying water on the mop pad to get it nice and wet. It's called preparing the mop pad. Okay, here we go. Now you can move that mop pad back and forth, scrubbing action. Okay, so it spotted that dried on mud. actually doing a really good job of vacuuming and mopping.
Cleaning mission complete. Going back to the base.
All right, so it's going to go wash that mop pad and do an auto empty event. So it's going to wash that mop pad with hot water and dry it with hot air when it's done. There's the clean water tank and the dirty water tank. It lifts itself up as it reverses. That's new. Here's our auto empty event. It's going to auto empty the dust bin inside the robot. And now it's going to wash the mop pad.
Starting to wash my pad.
Okay, that was pretty remarkable. There was a bunch of dirt. There was soy sauce over here. It did leave some of the long hairs, but wow, it did a pretty good job of mopping. That was really dried on mud too. Not too bad in the corners. Wow. Okay, so it's all done. That actually was pretty good. I'm actually blown away by it, actually. It's not drying the mop pad yet. Wait a minute, oh, it's still cleaning the, I thought it was done. It made it sound like it washed. Huh. I thought it washed the mop pad earlier. So we've done an auto empty. It filled the robot. I thought maybe it's letting it soak or something. Okay, so while that is doing that, let's view report.
I detected stains.
Oh.
Heading back out to aggressively attack them.
It's heading back up, but it didn't wash the mop roller. So if this, okay, so I like that it's going back out. And it's, I don't know what that is. It didn't like, I mean, it didn't wash the mop pad. The mop pad, I think, is still dirty a little bit. But it's going back to remop the floor, I think. Now it does, when it travels to this room, the mop pad is down. Could get a little closer to the wall, but so at least it is doing the perimeter of the room on the second pass. I think we're getting the crisscross pattern. Nope. So it divided this room up in half, looks like, and it's doing a remopping event. This floor is going to be extremely clean. That was a pretty cool. I actually am blown away by that sensor on the front. I did not expect it to work that well. This is the first time I've seen something like this, so I think it just turns that blue light on every so often, no matter what. So it's doing the perimeter of the room again? Nope. So it says targeting stains. It does have like a blue square. I really can't pinch and zoom. It's definitely scrubbing that area really good. It is really scrubbing that area good. It's not like it is soaked either. It's actually not super wet. It kind of left that area, now it's back. Okay, it is still not done. It is. Okay, I think it might be. Okay. This, at least where it divided it, is very clean. Kind of wet. But wow. Again, it does mop as it goes back. The only time it's going to lift that rear end is when it senses carpet. And this is different too. It's lifting its rear end to dock. And now we should get...
Starting to wash my pad.
Okay, so it's all done washing the mop. It's drying the mop with hot water or with hot air. It's not super loud. All right, there's how much water it used for cleaning. You know, so the mop head, it doesn't even feel warm. Boy, the air comes out right here. Not so much over here. You'd think the mop head would, but eventually I guess it does get it dry. No hair wrap. How did the auto empty work? Yeah, pretty good. A little bit of fine stuff on there. Here's the mission report. So earlier we had so that's the second mission. Okay, let's go over the recommended settings. Settings are a little tricky to find. You got to click the three little lines. That's where you're going to add a schedule. You can edit the map, click settings. If you want a smart home, that's where you connect it to the speakers. But then you got to select the robot, the UV detect, so stain lights. So the stain LED you can turn off. Stain improves, so you can turn all the lights off, looks like, but I'll leave them on. Pad wash frequency. After this amount of time, UV detect will return to the base and refresh its mop for about 5 minutes before continuing. So it's off. I'm not sure why it's off. I would at least put every 15 or 30 minutes, but I don't know why it's off. Underglow lights. You can turn the underglow lights off. They go purple when it senses debris. Suction will automatically boost. Green identifies a stain. First pass stain cleaning will be activated and a blue underglow light will appear. So you can also, and then there's air. So you can turn those underglow lights off. Button sounds, you can turn the button sounds off. Robot name, volume, language, do not disturb. I definitely recommend turning that on. These things will start in the middle of the night because recharge and resume is on. Cleaning preferences, save the last, however you cleaned it last, that's what it's going to save. Evacuate and resume. So every 45 minutes, it's going to go back to the dock and auto empty the dustbin. I definitely recommend having that on. Pad dry, 1.5, 2, or 2.5. Delete, you can delete maps, set settings, and that's it. And there's the firm. You really can't do anything about the firmware. It just does it on its own. All right, let's click schedule. So let's add a schedule. This is the number one thing I tell people. I want to vacuum and mop. Name the schedule. I'll just click all. Rooms. Let's do days of the week, all. You would pick 1 or 2 days. What time do you want to start? I'm going to start at 1:20 a.m. because I'm not here in the morning. Vacuum and mop clean is only for whole homes. So you can do vacuum. You can select certain rooms. You can do mop. You can have multiple schedules. Like have it mop your kitchen floor one day, have it vacuum the floors the other day. But vacuum and mop is for the whole home, and hit schedule clean. So then you'll see it pop up on all the days. Here's the completed. So earlier, that's the one, yeah. This is the one. This is the first one, yeah. So this is the first one it did. It went, it's not super accurate. I mean, and then it created a stain detect area just like in half the room. And then it went back. Now, if you want to do manual cleans, you can do whole home. You can hit clean, vacuum, mop. But again, remember, if it's mopping, it's vacuuming. There is no such thing as a vacuum only. And then there's vacuum and mop. Maybe it does mop only, but it seems like whenever it's in mop only, it seems like it's vacuuming. I'm not sure where that is. So you can turn the UV stain detect, and you've got water flow level. Somewhere there was, oh, I think when you do a certain room, clean, mop, that's when you can do the stain sensitivity just for that room, not for the entire house. So you can go moderate boost or max boost. Man, that thing will recognize a lot of stains, I bet. Water flow, I recommend leaving it on normal suction power. If you got a lot of pets, maybe go to maximum. I'll tell you what, that robot is a big surprise. Now, that sensor on the front of that Shark robot is very advanced. It's still a flagship robot price. It is $950. I would like to see a base station a little easier to clean, but this may be in an app that's a little easier to use. They are onto something with that sensor. So I got to do some more testing. This is the first look. Wow. Pretty shocking. There might be a lot, if it's in the dark, might be a lot of lights going on and off for you. The robot was definitely doing a lot of lights on and off. So again, I got to go take that to my home, live with it for 3 months. But I am going to do the ad versus reality while I'm here at the studio. They've got a lot of advertisements out on this. I think it's going to do okay. It looks like all the advertisements are about the stain recognition. And from what I saw, it recognized stain on the floor. I don't know how that thing's doing it, but it did it. So again, justadatapproved.com. I purchased all these robot vacuum cleaners with my own money. I'm not paid for this video. I want to get you the best robot for the best price. Again, I purchased these so I can say whatever I want about them. And again, I want to get you a robot that I would recommend to my friends and family. So again, not sure about this one yet. Definitely don't pay full. It's not a full price robot. $950. You may want to give it a try for that, but I think it's going to struggle with pet hair. The vacuuming part looks very old. Not many, actually no improvements from the last 4 models. So same brush roller, same comb. So again, justadatapproved.com. Thanks everybody. I'm getting ready to do the X60 right now. So again, thanks.